Aloha and welcome to Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future, brought to you by the Kiwani Foundation. I'm Ahu Kekahu Cardwell, and here we are today on the windward side of Oahu. We got a great guest on the show. Let's go on over here and meet him. Keoki, aloha. How are you?
Aloha. Yeah, good, mai kai, whai.
Good. Good. Introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Keoki Fukumitsu. They call me the Kaloman.
And where are we today? This is your place, right?
This is a small little valley within the ahupua'a of the Ko'olau. Hakipu, is its name. And this is my family land.
Wow.
We've been here almost forever, since time immemorial.
Really? So
And,
your family being here goes back literally hundreds and thousands of years, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Wow. Since ancient times.
Since ancient times.
Wow. And Kalo means taro. So you're the guy who grows taro.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we've been doing it for so long that, you know, the name was planted in me.
It took root, right?
It took root.
I see it growing over here. Can we walk over here and take a look at it?
Yes.
You've been doing this since a kid here, right?
Yeah.
You were raised doing this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Since watching my great grandparents do it.
Wow.
50 plus years ago.
And that's how you learn.
And so I always had one dream. You know, my dream was economically and traditionally, I was going to save my people by planting taro.
Yes.
And because it represented an industry, it became much more elaborate to me. And then, you know, I started off having fun. You know, swimming in the river, we cleaned river, we cleaned Hawaii. It was natural for me. And the mountains and the ocean was my front and backyard, my playground.
Wow, so this is all like second nature to you from a very early age, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
How many lo'i or taro patches do you have on the property?
Here we have about 30.
30?
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. That must be a lot of work to maintain all those, huh?
You know, it's a lot of work, but work is fun. You know?
Yeah.
Being in the hot sun, sweating it out, you know, a lot of perspiration. And then you look back every day, if you sweat it out, every day there's gain and there's progress. And so the advantage of it is just have fun. Didn't matter how hard the work was. I loved it, you know. And so most of my whole life on the farm was so cherishable, you know. And I watched my grandparents do it, and then I did it, you know. The interesting thing is that everything involved food. So it was the lifestyle and the livelihood.
In the old days, huh?
You know, even till now, you know, what we plant is what we eat. What we harvest is what we planted, and that's what we eat. Yeah. Even if we were just planting ourselves, you know, physically, cleaning the ditch, the Hawaii, we got to go clean the river, the Kahawai. All the aquatic life that come out with the dirty water, the o'opo, the opai, that was part of our diet. You know, they come on the banks because the water's dirty.
Right.
So we already know what we're going to eat for dinner. And we already know the agenda because we got to clean the Hawaii once a week.
Wow.
And so that goes on from further up the mountain and then down to the ocean. And so, you know, I exactly knew what I was going to eat already. You know, small kid time, we just make a little fire. We catch the o'opo, you know, we hook them up and put them on the plum stick, and we just huli that thing, puleho that thing on the fire, and that was our lunch, you know.
Opu is the shellfish, huh?
O'opo is the guppy.
Is a guppy?
The
Okay.
freshwater guppy.
Yeah, yeah. So you could come out here. This is really what your refrigerator, your supermarket, huh?
Yeah.
You could come out here and see what you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, on the farm, we always have animals. Of course, I've decreased the animals because I kind of like narrowing things down more to just specifically taro. But we always had chickens, ducks, pigs, cow, you know, and that was our ice box. Yeah. So I would harvest one of each for the year, and then my staple would be the kalo, poi. Wow.
Yeah.
We always had poi.
Always had poi, yeah.
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 And that was, I mean, it was fun, you know. The life was fun. We get mangoes, my parents, my grandparents, We have bananas, we have avocado, you know.
Wow.
We got the ulu and coconut, guava, mountain apple. And so we always had something to eat. Even if I'm working, you're not thinking of lunch. You already know what's on, you know? What's on, what season it is, and that's what you're going to have.
That's what you're going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you always like nutritionally and you know, healthy.
It's a balanced diet, yeah.
Balance all the way.
And it's fresh. every day.
Fresh from the aina.
Yeah.
It's a 24/7 thing
Right.
because your machine, everything about you runs 24/7.
Right.
Like whatever I couldn't do in the day, I'll do in the night. And it's interesting because in the night when the twilight comes out, all the elements come out and it's just you and all nature.
Wow.
I mean, it's like triple the energy, the fun, the joy, the resources that you get from the time of day. I mean, you know, nighttime, you feel the spirits, you know,
Yeah.
the spirit of the wind, you know, the spirit of the stars, the clouds, you know, the tides is changing. Then you can hear the still voices around. Over here, my boy. No, not over here. Over there, you know. And so you just take yourself in that circular environment, you know, and you just flow. You know, say, oh yeah, I forgot to clean the river and check the irrigation. I would move on Pohako. Say, oh, you know, and I'm going up the mountain, and I could hear the wind picking up, and then I know that the elements is changing, so that means the tides is changing. So I'd head down towards the beach, and I would head towards the fish ponds, because our property is beachfront, and it abuts the fish pond as well. And in the fish pond, you can just hear the tide changing, because the water is just rushing. So all these giants come out, you know. It's like, oh yeah, it's all elements. You see life as a whole and not just as a pay scale, you know. You don't pay, your payment is getting out there. All you gotta do is get out there and everything will just happen. And you put yourself in that place and it'll just flow. Even like for me, every place I've come upon this land, it just opens for me. You know, I never invent the wheel. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. All I got to do is get in the driver's seat. And it's pretty much common sense. If you anticipate everything that you've watched your elders, your kupuna, and you've heard them speak about it every day of your life. For like me, 50 years of my grandparents telling me what was what, when, and how, who lived here, who did that, how did they do it, and then, you know, after a while it just comes right out of you, you know. Oh, that's exactly what my grandparents was talking about, you know.
Ah, yeah.
It's like, and wow, that was just what my grandma told me about. Oh, my grandpa just told me about those things. And then you realize that now you're maturing, you're becoming one adult because now you're observing this kind of, you know, environment you live in. Raising a large family has a lot of responsibilities, and my whole mind, body, and spirit would be totally in a dreamland. And so I would go to bed and I would dream out my days on, you know, structurally.
The next day, you mean?
The next day.
Wow.
And every day I did that for maybe 40 years. Mm-hmm. And I know exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do them, when I'm going to do them. So, like if I'm on a project like planting my taro, so I'll plant all day, then the moon will come up, I'll plant all night, and then when the moon goes down, I run my machines side by side by my lineup, and I run my tractors with the light on. I plant all day and all night.
So you're going 24 hours, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then if I know I got a plant and the patch is not ready, so in the day I would run the grass cutter, I would mow it down to the ground, and then in the night I would in the evening I'll run my water, and before the night is over, I got my plow, and I'm plowing, just spitting mud all over.
Wow.
And by the next morning, I'll let the lo'i rest, fully leveled and water inside. And before the day is over, I got some lines already planted. And so I'd have the yin and the yang, you know,
Yeah.
one planted, starting, the next one prepped, you know, and then my vision would take me for the next one and the next one, at least being ahead, because economically, I got to be running like a machine,
Wow.
you know, physically.
So you really do have to take advantage of every single minute, don't you, when planting season is here?
All the time, all the time.
Wow.
All the time.
Wow.
Some guys, I plan rain, shine, day, and night. And with that, I observe everything else that comes with it in the day and in the night. You know, it's a spiritual thing. And it's almost like a psychological thing. Your mind is anticipate before your mind is even thinking, your body is moving already.
Yeah.
And I was like that, you know, just launching out there.
Yeah.
And then you could feel the genes. You could feel like, wow, this is how, you know, I never go there and open the book for learn to read the stars and the elements. I just watch the whole day and night just keep revolving. I said, okay, I'm gonna take this thing and rock and roll, you know, because the energy is flowing.
Yes.
So when you see it, it's like it highlights that. I said, okay, I can feel this mana coming on. I'm gonna do this. I said, wow, there's so much more energy in what I just did then. I'm gonna do this, you know.
Wow. So you really do have both realms here, the physical and the spiritual.
All the way,
All the way.
100%.
Wow.
If I had 12 months and every month I planted, after all, it's a natural pace. You know, it's a system.
Yeah. So Keoki, I was going to ask you, is taro a seasonal crop, or do you plant it year round?
Well, you got the two seasons, the long season and the short season.
Okay.
And, you know, based on how the elements revolve.
Yeah.
But for me, it didn't matter, because if the season was short, then I would double and triple the planting
Gotcha.
to add to the quantity.
Gotcha.
The quality was always there,
Yeah.
because, you know, it adds up when you get poi in the bowl.
Yes.
You know, and not just one taro on the table, you know.
Yeah.
I got one bag, how much you like? 2 bags, 5 bags, you know. I'm the only sibling left on this aina. All my siblings passed on, so it's just me and my children.
How many children do you have?
I have 5 children,
Whoa.
and then now my grandchildren.
How many grandchildren?
I got 7 grandchildren.
7. So you got 5 children, 7 grandchildren, you, and a wife, huh?
Yep.
Wow. 14 people.
14
A
people.
lot of mouths to feed.
Yep.
A lot of taro to grow.
Exactly. So that's interesting, because now I got to think 14 times. I'm not just thinking for myself.
Yeah, whatever you do times 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's 14 more spirits you pick up, you know.
You carry with you.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Yeah.
you just keep adding it up. So every step is like double step, you know. I actually, after a while, I'm running to where I need to go and what I need to do, you know.
So every move has to be efficient.
Everything count.
Everything counts.
Every little,
Nothing is wasted.
nothing,
Everything recycled.
everything.
Everything used. Everything
Everything.
appreciated. Everybody
Everything.
nurtured.
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
Even if the economy and things are changing, like I just add on to it, you know. I jump on one machine, then I jump on the other machine, then I jump on the other machine, you know. It's like anticipation again.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
When you do them day and night, you know, it's like, okay, what I cannot buy, I'm gonna catch. What I cannot catch, I'm gonna harvest.
Wow. The old ways meet multitasking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You have to be a real hustler.
How many other people here in the valley are doing what you and your family are doing here?
No one,
Really?
no one out. It's strange, but absolutely no one. I don't know the reason why, but I could, you know, guess. But you know, it was like that even from the days of old.
Really?
My great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother, they planted taro and they prepared poi, they pounded poi. So for 200 years, this the history that I know of. And so down to me today.
Wow.
And so we're, unfortunately, the only family. Our fortune, but unfortunately, we're the only ones. So it's even more intense because all these, the environment needs to be maintained. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a one-man band, a one-man show, and you know, we good to go anyway. You know, my grandfather said, "You just get your ukulele out there and do it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get help or no more help."
Yeah, no
And
excuses.
we grandma
just
in the
do it.
back cracking the stick. Get out there, boy. They did it by themselves.
Yeah.
And everybody, the community came around for poi. Because my tutus, they were the only one planting and kui.
And there was plenty to hand out,
And
right?
plenty,
Yeah.
plenty. You know,
Yeah.
we had a lot of taro fields, you know, everything was happening.
Keoki, what has modern times and development and developers, have they had any effect upon you here on this land?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, has anybody come in here and tried to take this away from you?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Whoa.
it's a tragedy to see that that Western concept, you know, that the foreigners bring in. It's like you can just shrewdly and hostilely.
Trick somebody out of their land, right?
Yeah, we've gone through it for 200 years. I'm going through it now. So it really takes a lot out of the individual.
Yeah.
Depends how much you got, as far as you know, your rights, your interests, your possession, what you've inherited, all of the above. It takes for you. You gotta get off the land and get out there to the capital, say your thing, and then get back in the field, all in the same day.
Wow. Wow.
And it takes a lot out of a person.
So you got to have a foot in both worlds, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, definitely.
You got to know how to do this, and you got to know how to go into town in that other world and fight to keep this, and then come back and do this.
Definitely. I mean, everybody, you know, it's like one good example. Say, like, we're surrounded by the ranch. you
Yeah.
know.
The commercial ranch.
Yeah. And so everybody sees how the ranch do it. You know, that power trip. And so all my neighbors,
Where money is king.
yeah, you know, all my neighbors, the land is like gold, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to land, we don't fool with land. We don't play around with land. We know how valuable it is and who is in the position, who, when, and where. So everybody around this neighborhood, they see like the ranch going off and just adversing, possessing, and muscling everybody. And so I'm on guard continuously, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. I mean, you know, outside of the real glamour and the beauty and the cherishable stuff that we've spoke about, there's the other side to it. You know, whatever is given requires a lot.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all hands on deck.
Yeah.
I'm my eyes is on the north end of the valley, the south end of the valley, the east end of the valley, and the west end of the valley. You know, my army got to be marching.
So you're a one-man army.
Yeah, I'm a one-man army.
Yeah.
You know,
Because not only do you work the land, but you got to protect the land to make sure it isn't taken away from you.
all the way.
Wow.
You know, it's really detailed. You got to be saturated in all of this and try and not let it get to you at the same time. So, you know, I use a phrase like, hey, my army, I got 30,000 behind me because I just planted 30,000 seedlings. So these are my army.
Yeah.
When we march from the left flank or from the right flank of this property, this ahuʻs, we march as an army.
Yeah.
I got my army behind me.
Yeah.
My army needs water, so I go get the water. My army needs to be back at base camp, so I need to know that the camp is up and running, you know. So the land needs to be cleared, the land needs to be prepped. You know, we need to be at boot camp, not just in the dugout, but in the lo'i,
Yeah.
in each patch, you know.
Yeah.
So all of that is like, okay, here we go, we're marching, you know.
Yeah. So you got to work it, but you got to be on guard at the same
On
time.
guard all the way.
Wow.
You know, you got to be polished. You got to know
Wow.
your rights.
And you can't miss a trick of them, otherwise they can checkmate you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow. You never let your guard down.
Never.
Wow.
You know, I always have my mom on one end, because she fought tooth and nail, you know, like a mother hen, you know, taking care of its flock, its chicks.
Yeah.
In her bosom. She comes out scrapping, and then next comes my grandma, you know, and next comes my great grandma, you know, and they all come out. So, you know, you got, as the keiki okaina, the sibling, you got all that check. Don't forget about this, boy. Watch out, that boy. Cover your back, boy. Make sure you got your eyes in the front now.
So they're
Okay.
with you all the way,
All the
backing
way
you up.
There's a check and balance all the way along
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah. So, you know, Keoki, we have viewers of Voices of Truth here in Hawaii, but we also have viewers of the show all over the world. And I'm sure there are people watching this right now that are going through their own kind of troubles of, you know, their adverse possession with their land, somebody trying to take away their assets, something that they hold near and dear to them. What would you say to them right now? What's your message to them?
Never, 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 ever give up. Where there's a will, there's always a way. And if you're real, it'll be pono. The good things in life always come around. There's always a yin and a yang. For every adversity, there's double, triple, quadruple the righteousness that's ahead of you. You just got to break through that barrier. Whether you're going through it, over it, around it, whatever you got to do, it's that determination, that willpower. And you know, if you're born in it, it's even more. I just stick to my guns, you know. I stick to my belief and how I was raised. Somehow in there, you gotta have a good sense of direction, and then your natural instinct will just come out of you. But if you don't take the first step, then nothing's gonna happen.
So you got to take the first step.
Yep.
And then it starts to kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Keoki, are you hopeful for the future?
Well, definitely.
Really?
Definitely. You know, I'm a big dreamer. I'm a visionary person. I accomplish all my goals. If my dream is so huge, I just take it down in categories and accomplish it one at a time. And then it starts snowballing.
Chop it down to small bites and do it one at a time.
Yeah.
Huh?
And it becomes very positive. If you're only talking, then you're gonna be a talker. You know, if you're on labor, then all your labor is gonna show. You know, so
So you're saying you got to not only talk it, but you got to walk it
you gotta walk the talk
every single day.
every single day. At 16, I ran this whole farm already.
Is that right?
And
Wow.
when I became 26, well, that's 10 more points, right? And when I came 36, that's 20 more points. By the time I got 46, you know, oh, I had $1 worth, you know. And so I cashed it in, you know.
Wow.
And it's, you know, the proof is in the pudding.
Proof is right here?
Yeah.
It's right here all
Yeah.
around us.
We got poi in our bowl and taro in our cookers for almost 40 straight years non-stop.
Wow.
Whether a little or a lot, just by the love and aloha I put in, and I believe, I walk around, the energy that I just unload in this place, the fruits of the land just go off. You know, my bowl end up and my bag end up with a lot of kalo.
Wow.
You know, and I'm always cooking, always making poi, and you see it. You see it, if you walk around the property, you see all my children, my grandchildren, you know, they're doing their thing. They're happy. Negatively or positively. We jamming anyway. Never mind about the other guys, you know. I always tell my kids, don't look around. When you look around, you can see all your enemies. You just keep them in the back of you and know where you're going. Forward. You know, whether you got to drag them or whatever it is, you know.
Right.
The negative energy, just keep them in the dust. You know,
Wow.
You're in the fire, not in the smoke.
Wow. The fruits of your labor are definitely all around us. This is great. Keoki, thank you so much for having us out here and being on the show. I'm so inspired by seeing what you have here, what you've done, and who you are. It's been great. Thanks so much for being on the show. And to our viewers, thanks for joining us here with Keoki on the beautiful windward side of Oahu. Remember, you can watch us on the web 24/7 on voicesoftruthtv.com. I'm Keoki Cardwell, and until next time, ahui ho! Mahalo for watching Voices of Truth one-on-one with Hawaii's Future. Watch us on the web 24/7 at voicesoftruthtv.com. You'll find all our shows, including this one, in case you want to see it again or share it with family and friends. Also view our weekly video commentaries at freehawaiitv.com. And check out our blog, published daily, at freehawaii.info. It's all part of the Free Hawaii Broadcasting Network.